quite impressive. I cannot deny that. I encourage Lorinda to go have a look because I think he'll enjoy it.
Right, so it is going to be the Quest Rogue first, and that's a double giant hand from Switch, but that's also a prep vanish. Not saying that it's a keep, but this illustrates why the Quest Rogue is very good at dealing with this kind of thing from the Q block. All right, so we haven't actually seen too much Quest Rogue throughout the day. It's seen some bans, and
Yeah, Derek and I did get to cast one Quest Rogue Mirror earlier, which was very much a surprise given how the tournament has been so far.
it's the fact that when you leave Quest Rogue up, you're usually trying to target something like that,
Yeah.
so the matchups end up being very polarized. But this is one that I'd say is not so cut and dry for the Quest Rogue because, well, Q-Lock does Q-Lock things. How many times do we have to say that?
Yeah, it is possible actually for the Q block to just race the Quest Rogue down if the quest isn't completed too fast with Doomguard, Skull of Minaris, cubes, etc, etc. But the Prep Vanish, despite being mulliganed away, Staz did pick up another copy of Prep and Vanish. By playing Zola the Gorgon on Igneous Elemental, he's guaranteed himself a lot of value and is very close to having all of the tools he needs to complete that quest already. In fact, that's
That's it.
technically the last one.
Yeah, assuming that he gets all the Fireflies off the Death
True.
Rattle and then Shadow Step one of them, it's actually enough.
We could Shadow Step the Zola the Gorgon if you wanted even more value and get another Igneous Elemental, which may be a consideration.
I think it's super greedy when you're staring down a mountain
It
giant.
is greedy. It is greedy, yeah.
But this is definitely way too early to merit a Vanish. I'd just like to see the Igneous Elemental getting its Death Rattle off right away so that you're free to Vanish later on.
Yep. So you're like trading in the Igneous Elemental, slamming down all the Fireflies you can think of. Or maybe just, one Flame Elemental and Igneous Elemental.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Hope not to see a silence.
The trade with the Zola, I guess, also in respect of something like Faceless Manipulator.
Dark Possession is not a card that we see all too often in Q block.
Yeah, Switch was saying that he thinks it's good, but Staz doesn't necessarily agree.
Ah, okay. It's quite interesting to me that they have been practicing together, they had been preparing together, but there are some pretty crucial parts of their lineups that they just don't agree with. For example, one of the two players running Quest Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, they were practicing together as of getting this far in the tournament.
Oh, sure.
I don't think
Right.
they necessarily built their lineups with the same strategy in mind.
Okay.
And Switch was saying Staz's Warlock build is so greedy. So fair amount of, respectful disagreement between these players. I was sitting down with either one of them while the other's match was going on and asking what they thought about the plays.
Okay.
And a lot of them were saying, a lot of times Staz would say, talaga, really? Is that what you mean to do? And then he would sometimes retract and say, oh, wait, actually this really makes sense. And Switch would say similar things. So
Okay.
there's a lot of respect on both sides.
That's great to hear. It really couldn't have worked out as a sort of a nicer finals between two friends.
And so clearing off that one giant, I think, was a necessary play because it's just way too much damage represented.
So Dark Possession would allow Switch to kill off the Lackey this turn. If he wanted to go that way, discover probably a Void Lord and also pull out a minion from his deck, obviously.
It's just awkward that he couldn't actually deal with any of these flame elementals, and he must know that the quest completion is coming very soon.
That'll do as well. 2 Doom Guards in hand, 9 damage remaining for Staz. One way or another, Switch might be able to finish this one up soon. However, that quest is just about finished. Can be completed this turn and activated this turn thanks to Shadow Step.
The thing is, if that happens, you only have the 15 damage on board that can clear off the giant and not the Doom Guard. And so
Yeah.
at 9 health, you're dead to the other Doom Guard.
And there's not quite a way that he can squeeze in Vanish, even with the preparation.
Yeah.
He'd be 3 mana short.
So I guess he might just be forced to vanish here.
So the Doom Guard would be destroyed, the Mountain Giant would return to the hand, and only cost 3 mana next turn, which is slight concern for Staz, but at least it slows it down for 1 turn. It just reduces Switch's attack power now by 8. Well, by 13.
Right, and if there's one thing that Quest Rogue does well, it's just coming back from the brink of destruction. Vicious Scalehide
Yes.
helps a lot in that regard. It's not in hand quite yet, but Staz doesn't have to be afraid of too much burst from the Q block because it's Q block. So the quest completion delayed by 1 turn. This is slightly scary against any form of AoE, but even if AoE were to come down, Staz would have most of the board initiative. No chargers in hand yet, but I think
Yeah.
it's looking pretty good for Staz.
So what could Switch do? He does have Voodoo Doctor plus Defile if he really wanted to guarantee the clear board, and then follow up with a Doomsayer, which actually isn't looking so bad.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the contents of Staz's hand, which is the issue there, but as we can see, if Switch did play the Doomsayer now, Staz wouldn't have a way of clearing it.
Yes, I do think that is the only play that keeps him alive. I mean, like having to defile past at even just 1 charger.
He's so close to just having lethal, but just not close enough. Yeah, he's gonna
Go for it, yeah. Can definitely see this. And with Mimic Pod, well, definitely the mana's gonna be spent on the quest here first, and I imagine you're gonna be cycling the Novice
That
Engineer.
Novice Engineer is going to be bouncing back and forth between the hand and board, I think, this turn.
Yeah.
Mimic Pod is also worth considering. No, sorry, he won't have the mana to play that along with Crystal Core.
So crucially, this Doomsayer came down turn 7, so it's not setting up for a Void Lord off just natural play quite yet. So I think Staz can be comfortable and not too pressured about it yet. I do think he can spend the time to just start the turn with drawing, then you probably play the quest. Okay, the dagger hit is actually a really relevant setup because of the damage cutoffs of 5s, and you know you have the 1 dagger for that extra last point with 3 charge minions, so this also makes some sense.
So switches 2 mana potentially off lethal. Gonna just slam the Doom
Yeah,
Guard
I
down
like
straight
this a
away.
lot.
He
Oh.
discards the other Doom Guard. Okay, kind of bad, kind of not so bad because he does have Carnivorous Cube, but there is a chance that Staz just wins the game this turn.
It's
If
no
his draws
chargers
are
in
right.
hand right now,
Well,
though.
a Mimic Pod into a Charger would do it. A Novice Engineer into a Charger
Yeah.
would do it.
Right, so what is the best use of your mana right now?
Start with Novice, right?
Yes, Novice.
Start with Novice, then I think Mimic Pod, and then start bouncing the Novice after that.
He was reaching for Flame Elemental, so he's actually going for Elven Minstrel, I
Oh,
guess.
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So this gives you 2 other ones.
Yeah, that's even better, I think. No,
Oh,
Scalehide.
rush.
It's a Rusher,
Okay.
not a Charger.
It does help him survive.
Yeah, it heals
for this
him a ton, which
Yeah.
is vital.
You can also just
He can't-
Shadow Step it to heal another 5. It won't
Yeah, it
clear
won't-
the
yeah.
Doom Guard, but it gets you out of range of. There's not much 4 damage that's scary, right? It's Hellfire,
No, that's
because
right.
the other Doom Guard was discarded.
But you know what? This it does seem right to me. Just
Sure, yeah.
pushing myself a little bit further out of range again. An extra 5 damage wouldn't do it. Dark Pact would be lethal right now because of the Carnivorous Cube. That would be 15 damage total. But luckily for Staz, Switch is still missing that last piece of the puzzle. He does have 2 Void Lords, one of which is looking like a pretty good play this turn, actually.
Yeah, it's just the stall you kind of need to get there. Of course, it's so difficult for the Q block to outvalue a Quest Rogue, which is, you know, done before turn 8. And the way the decks line up, I don't think he ever gets there is the thing.
That's it.
Wait,
That's gonna do
oh
it.
my gosh. What?
Took a little bit of a risk there, starting the
Switch
turn with the
saw
tap.
the out. He knew that he couldn't wait with the Void Lord. He knew Staz would get there eventually if he gave him the window. So he went for the Dark Pact out. He got it. And we have our champion.
Switch has defeated his fellow Filipino, his friend, and his practice partner, and he has become the HCT Taipei Tour Stop champion. Gia, are you happy with this result?
I'd be happy either way, honestly, but congratulations so much to Switch. And I guess that he was more of the underdog in terms of just who is